criteria a little bit on all the things we've been practicing. That name game, I want you to wait a little bit longer before you say yes. I want them to hold there looking at you for a second before you say yes. So you'll start with that. It will look like this. Dixie! Good job. So I want that look to be there, and then you can use, I'm using a clicker. I'll try to remember to say yes in there so you'll know what that would look like. Dixie! Yes, good job. So having them hold that attention a little bit longer, and even adding some distraction where you might, excuse me, toss some treats. Just there. I didn't make that. That didn't work out so well. All right, toss some treats that are just out of their reach, so she knows they're there. And I go, Dixie. Oh, hello. No, that wasn't a click to get it. Yes, good girl. I want to use something distracting, and she's like, I know there's a treat there, so let them focus on that. Dixie! Good girl. Okay, go get it. And you could let them go get the treat, or you could pick it up afterwards, but having some distractions in there to get their attention when they're focused on something else will be helpful. Your sit, we're going to, sit. Wait. We're going to continue to add some distraction to that. I'll be right back. Talked a little bit about changing posture last week. This week we're going to talk about doing things like bouncing a ball or other things that might be distracting. You're not just going to walk up and bounce a ball and expect your dog to stay seated. You're going to go gradually. Present the ball, dog stays seated, they get fed. My fault. Dixie. Might toss the ball up a few times, and it will depend on how ball driven your dog is as to how difficult this is for them. If they're super ball driven, you're going to end up bouncing the ball a little bit further away at the beginning. Almost dropped it. Good girl. I'm going to work up to, good job, gradually, good girl. Being able to bounce the ball and reward the dog. And she should be able to stay seated. I'm going to build on my success. If she was struggling, I wouldn't even be bouncing yet. She's done this before, so she should be able to hold it together. But if your dog's struggling, build on their success. Don't set them up for failure. So you're going to add distraction to the sit. Lots of times if you raise your arms, that's pretty distracting. So you can, we talked about the jolly, and we'll talk about that again, where we get real wild and then have them sit. Excuse me. You can have them in a sit, and then you can get real wild while they stay seated. Good job. Nice work. Okay. So keep working that sit. Remember, they should be sitting at doors all the time, and sitting is a way your dog says, please may I. They want anything from me? The best opportunity you're going to have is if you probably put your butt on the ground. We'll continue to work our down and stand as well. Down. That was really slow, girlfriend. Using our distance and duration, and as those get better, we'll start changing our posture. She's in a down. Maybe I'm going to squat on the floor. Good girl. Maybe I'm going to sit on the floor, and that is not an invitation to come necessarily get in my lap. Good job. I went underneath you. Sorry. Did you get it? Nope, it's under your armpit. There you go. Okay. But challenging them more and more with those basic behaviors. And then we want to do some chain behaviors with our sit down and stand, rewarding for the quick results. Good girl. But making sure that we're practicing all of those behaviors. Best place to practice with the ultimate distraction is on the walk, in the middle of a block. Just stop and have your dog sit down and stand in varied order. Down. It's late at night, isn't it? Sit. Bad guess. Stand. Nice. Down. Sit. Down. It's under your chin from before. Find it? Good job. Stand. Awesome. Good girl. Okay, so practicing those, and you don't need to reward each individual behavior, making sure that if your dog is struggling and you need to use a hand cue, you must remember to mark it yes and feed it. But otherwise, you don't need to feed every behavior. Once they know a behavior that yes goes away and the reward schedule becomes intermittent and very unpredictable.